Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be discussing how FileCloud can help you meet your GDPR compliance. So during today's webinar, we're going to be discussing some of the features FileCloud has, which will assist you towards complying with GDPR, such which include user consent, right to access, data portability, right to be forgotten, add special user types of DPOs using patterns to detect problems. So what is the user consent? GDPR requires that all users provide explicit consent to track personally identifiable information, PII. FileCloud offers a new privacy setting to get explicit user consent. Once enabled, FileCloud users will ask for consent from users while accessing, viewing, or downloading files from FileCloud. Now, we're going to be reviewing this a little bit later on directly on FileCloud. How does this look? But pretty much in the screenshot that you're checking out here, it shows you directly how does a user consent dialog look like. You can change the whole wording of this using HTML format. Once the user clicks on accept, his information will be recorded, such as their IP address, in case it's a public share. In case it's a private share, they will still get the message if you set it. But keep in mind that private share access are already recording their username and whatnot. Now, right to access. With this provision, users may request access to any information the company process relates to them. FileCloud allows an organization's data protection officer or an administrator to search for users' data across all file content and activity logs. While the new FileCloud updates, administrator can search for content across all users in the system. So using FileCloud's audit log, you will be able to identify every single item that has that user's name, in which you can provide us a report if in case they request for a report containing other information or what information do you have from me. As well, we're going to be reviewing this a little bit later on. Right to be forgotten. Under GDPR, users may request the deletion or anonymization of any data companies possess related to them. FileCloud offers tools to delete files, and FileCloud also helps you with anonymization of any data that companies possess related to users, including the activity log. Adding special user types of DPOs. Companies with over 250 employees should assign a data protection officer, a DPO, to overlook compliance. FileCloud offers special user types with a subset of administrator tools. Organizations can create special users accounts for DPOs and auditors to monitor compliance. You can select a subset of admin features that you can enable for your DPOs. We're going to be reviewing this one in detail, so you can review how can you actually grant another user access to the admin portal, but with limited capabilities compared to your full admin portal access. And use patterns to detect problems. GDPR compliance requires companies to ensure that files with protected information have not been shared inappropriately. IT system administrators can now search for common data types. Quickly search using built-in pattern identifiers, including email address, phone numbers, and credit cards. FileCloud as well provides templates to search for complex patterns which are different across countries. Now, before we continue, let's go ahead and look at FileCloud directly so we can start looking at how can we accomplish all of these actions in a better way. Perfect. So if you access our support documentation at getfilecloud.com/support docs and you type GDPR compliance in FileCloud, you're going to come out with a list of items that you could do to accomplish such action. As well, when you click on the link, you're going to be getting very detailed step-by-step description on how to accomplish this action. So let's talk about the first one, enabling the private user consent. Privacy user consent requires for you to do two actions. From the user's policies, you gotta enable the security policy settings. Once you have done this action, you're going to go ahead and you're going to be able to go into miscellaneous privacy. and you're going to be able to add, for example, a message. In my case, I've added my message, which is this user consent dialog. So when my users log in, automatically they're going to get this user consent dialog. So how will this look like in real life? I'm going to go ahead, open and then private browsing window. I'm going to log in with my demo user. Immediately, you're going to see he's getting this pop-out FileCloud GDPR. Back in this platform, you're agreeing with all our terms and conditions. Your IP address and IP geolocation will be recorded for auditing purposes. When the user clicks on agree, then the user proceeds to access this information. For more details on how to enable this, please do feel free to review our documentation. It will provide you with a very detailed step-by-step guide with pictures and on how to do this. Then the next option we were looking at was right to access data. FileCloud supports content index search, which pretty much means that it will allow you to search for data that's within a document. In this case, if you want to search for your data, we can search for data like demo. Document comes up, but FileCloud can do way more than just simple text search. FileCloud is able to also search for PII information. We have added already some predefined PII content such as Croatian identity number, or Denmark personal identity number, or Finland national card, or passport numbers. All of these commands that you're seeing are purely regex. A regex is pretty much a regular expression. To understand this a little bit better, FileCloud, within FileCloud, let me explain this to you so we can get a little bit moving here. In case of the following, you're going to see that this regex that I'm showing here displays the following data. For those who are not familiar with the regular expression, it's just a logic statement that identifies a pattern. So in here, I'm telling my command, okay, I got 3 digits from 0 to 9. So it's going to be 256, followed by a dash. And then I have 2 digits followed from 0 to 9. This could be this, followed by a dash. And then I have 4 digits from 0 to 9. So based on my regular expression, I am defining this is a social security number, a US social security number, which is the same as having this. So what will FileCloud do in such case? With FileCloud's PII capabilities, FileCloud has the capability of searching for specific documents, tagging them, and classifying them, and then grant you the capability of blocking and preventing access to those documents based on its PII content. For this case, FileCloud does provide you with the capability of integrating with our indexer, which is already available out of the default installation. Then you're going to be able to set smart classification that will be able to use your PII data to be able to identify PII records. And then using smart DLP, you can actually deny the download of it. For an example on this and how will this work, I'm going to go ahead and upload this document that we just created. Call this document testing PII. I'm going to go ahead, go to my desktop, and just drag and drop it here. So the moment this document is uploaded, the workflow that our system follows is that it will index this document. Once it indexes this document, it will proceed on, FileCloud will proceed on checking, hey, does this document contain this information? Oops, there is a space here. There we go. Does FileCloud contain this information? If so, I want you to add a metadata tag, for example, call it social security number. Or I want you to add another kind of tag. Really, the tag is something you actually define yourself. Then once that is done, FileCloud will automatically include a tag to this document stating, hey, this document contains PII data, therefore it will enable to be downloaded. For example, if you see here, there's already a metadata tag added to it. It says it's found a social security number. If I try to download it, it should give me a pop-up. This document contains PII data, therefore you're not authorized to download it. For more details, contact your administrator. Now, that message in particular is coming out directly from our DLP capabilities, which I'm telling it, hey, if you find any document that has this tag, deny its download. Now, there's a little bit more than just searching. As you can see, FileCloud will provide you the capability to not only be able to search for that data and filter it, but also to be able to block it and automate your security mechanism to avoid somebody having the capability to download that data, to give you an idea. Now, for this case, we're not going to be running an example, but we will mention it, which is that you have the right to export your data. If you want to export the proprietary storage format that FileCloud uses, so you can read it and use it in compliance efforts, you can use our export feature. FileCloud via command line that will provide you the capability of exporting your data using a PHP CLI tool. For more details, feel free to review the documentation on this one, as it does require a little bit more of a step-by-step kind of setup. But pretty much, you get the whole idea on how does the PHP tool look and what can it do. It has very detailed information on how to accomplish this task. Now, another requirement that GDPR asks for is to anonymize data. In order to anonymize data, FileCloud gives you the capability by going under Miscellaneous, Privacy, Anonymize. From here, you can add a user's information like Zoom. Zoom is the name of one of my users. And you can say Anonymize. Anonymizing this data will pretty much replace any user's information with anonymous information so that this user is no longer added to your system. Do keep in mind that if you have a FileCloud backup or your data is not actually within FileCloud, or if you have exported your audit logs, then there is no way that FileCloud will be able to anonymize that user, as you will need to do it manually. For more details on this action, please feel free to visit our documentation and check out our how to anonymize user data. Now, some of the other features that you're being requested is to be able to add another DPO. You can review this instructions in here, which is how to create an admin account. The situation where this comes to is where you have an officer and this officer only requires to view audit logs, right? He doesn't really have access to anything else. Instead of granting him access to the whole system, you have the capability of editing the user. You can mark him as an admin. Or even better, if you go down to administrators, add an admin, you can select an admin user. And then you can decide, hey, maybe I want this user to only be able to look at the audit log, right? So we're going to go ahead here and give him access to the audit log. That way, this user or this officer will only be able to view the audit log. As well, maybe you want to give him a rich dashboard, or you even want to give him some smart classification features or whatnot. But this is pretty much how you can add another admin so it complies with your officers or whatever you need with limited access. So in regards to everything that we've seen, there's something a little bit more that we could check out as well, which is going over the audit log. Every single action done in FileCloud by a user can be recorded directly from the audit log as seen right now. Whatever I have clicked or viewed, the audit log has recorded my user is doing. When trying to export data from a user, in case a user asks for a report, hey, I want to know, for example, what information do you have on me? FileCloud gives you the capability to type in the username, and then you get the full information of what the user has done, including his login times, if he's modified a file, if he's changed any records. All this information will be able to be provided. As well, if I do, for example, Zoom, which is another one of my users, you're going to get a little bit more information. In this case, I have anonymized successfully the user Zoom. So instead of seeing Zoom, you now see anonymous. But if I did not have anonymized my user, I will see the word Zoom in every action he has done. But now every action that that user has done, it has the word anonymous on it because I have anonymized that user. So as a quick review, FileCloud will aid you towards providing your GDPR compliance using common good practices such as user consent, right to access as we've seen, data portability to store your data, right to be forgotten as we did with the Zoom account and then we anonymized it, add special user types as we've seen how to add an administrator with limited capabilities, and added to this, you're also going to have user patterns to detect problems. But honestly, when we refer to problems, these are mostly data that could mean any issue within your system. Now, now that we've seen this information, I want to really open up a space for about 10 to 15 minutes at most of any questions anybody might have regarding any of the features we've seen, how FileCloud can comply with your GDPR requirements, or what configurations can be done better. All right. I see no questions coming in, team. I really appreciate everybody joining. The quick starter guide will be emailed to all attendees. If you need help, feel free to contact our support team at cultlafe.com or visit our documentation at getfilecloud.com/support docs. Please do keep in mind that FileCloud provides an amazing aid to comply with your GDPR compliance. Some of these features might be enabled on standard or enterprise offering in order to determine which option is best and that you're ensure that you have all of these features that we just discussed. Do feel free to contact our sales team at sales@collace.com. Have a great day and thank you for joining.